thanks everyone for joining us. It's always hard to know exactly at what point you're going to go live because you have to type the title in and then the video goes live. But anyway, all good. So, yeah, thanks everyone for joining us. We're really excited to have our testimonial day today. We're very much hoping that Mike, a gentleman called Mike, is going to join us and share his testimonial, which is an absolutely incredible story. And who else have we got that's going to join us as well, Kurt?
Yes, we've got Mike from up in Michigan that's going to join us. Mike has suffered from MS, multiple sclerosis, for 25 years, and he just gave such an awesome testimonial about 2 weeks ago when I was in Detroit that we asked him to come on and do a live for everybody here. And he hasn't jumped on yet. I know he had to go to his sister's for a little bit, so we're waiting for him to get on. And then we've got Rick Lee over by Lincoln, Nebraska. Rick's been taking the products now for about a year, and he got some good information to share as well. So, yeah.
Okay, awesome.
They're there.
Okay. Who we got?
I still don't see him.
No, not yet. Okay, so should we talk about, should we share a first testimonial then, Kurt?
Yeah, why don't you play one of the recordings?
Okay, just bear with me. Actually, why don't we kick off with Trevor? Trevor's got a great testimonial. Trevor, would you like to share yours?
So much. Oh, man, Trevor, no.
But it's a new testimonial.
He's got that funny Australian accent.
I'll try and keep it sort of sweet, short and sweet, Kurt. All righty. Well, I tell you what, this H2 stick, I'm just astonished with it. I just love it. It's just such a brilliant product. It's becoming one of my favourites, actually. And just to clarity of thinking and the ability just to pull words out of the mind, that used to be trapped in there. It's just been absolutely fantastic. And I tell you, isn't just, I guess this is just like a kind of a normal testimonial because, I'm a pretty healthy kind of bloke. I haven't got any health issues whatsoever, but being on this H2 has made such a difference for me and Shah. And I was telling Katie about this last week and I thought, it's not really much of a testimonial really, but we actually went out for a bit of a walk and we're trudging up and down all these hills, and I just couldn't believe how it was just so effortless. I could just walk and walk and walk, and it was absolutely effortless, And I feel like a 20-year-old trapped in a mid-50-year-old body, It's just bloody fantastic. I love it. I absolutely love it.
It's a great testimonial. I can add to that. So I've been using the H2 stick, but I did something a bit different this week, and that is I used the H2 stick with the H2 stick bottle. And can I say, oh my God? Oh my God. It is amazing. Firstly, it tastes way better in a bottle than out of plastic, right? But I did notice that real hydrogen kick, the same sort of kick I got the very first time I had it. Immediately alert, feeling awake, workout. I did a workout yesterday after having it, and I lifted the most I've ever lifted, just doing upper body weights. And I just think this is such a great product to share. If you know anyone that, is an athlete or exercising, you'd be crazy not to give them a sample of this product. It's a non-stimulant, but it provides ongoing energy and endurance and recovery time for anyone who's doing exercise. And look, you can even just be going for a walk. So I just think this is an absolutely brilliant product and a beautiful product to complement with the actual H pill. So if you haven't purchased a Sisel H2 stick bottle, I highly recommend it to give it a go. So yeah, so that's my testimonial. Kurt, have you tried the H2 stick bottle?
Hey, Katie, before he comes, before he adds to that, I was just going to say, Kurt, you need to get on to Eddie from Arkansas. I had a chat with him yesterday. He's got an awesome testimonial about what you were talking about there, Katie, going to gym and things. So anyway, mate, I'll leave that up to you, Kurt. You need to get on to Eddie.
Yeah, you sent me a text, and he said that he just loved it. I sent him one sample in the mail,
We're losing you, Kurt. Your bandwidth's too low. Kurt, can you move into a higher mobile range area?
He said that within 15 minutes, he said that he just felt fantastic. Phone. No? Hello?
Yeah, that's better. You're going in and out of range.
Oh, okay. I shouldn't be. Maybe it's switching towers out here. We're in Nebraska, across Nebraska. Can you hear?
Yep. Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh, you cut out again. But we've got Rick on the line.
Okay.
So I'm going to promote Rick to panelist.
Yeah, I was just going to say that when
Hey, Rick, how are you going? Can you hear me, Rick?
He's muted, Katie.
Is he? Okay, hang on. There we go. Ah, there you are, Rick. How are you going, Rick?
Well, yeah, I think, the main reason I'm with Sisel is because I prayed to God. And this was after I lost my first spouse with lung cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And shortly thereafter, I knew there was help out there, but I didn't know where. And that's when I asked God for a company that I could bring people to so that their chronic and acute ailments could be addressed and fixed. So here I'm at Sisel, and I think I got every gosh darn product they make almost.
Yeah.
In the kitchen or the bathroom or the shower. And I know darn well that all of these products are promoting my health. Whereas what I used to use in the past were actually invading my body to set up illnesses of acute and a chronic nature, which would ultimately end up as cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and that's a little bit of my insight.
Wow. And so you've been using him. Have you got a personal experience before and after?
Yeah. Just this last Sunday, we were up it was Monday night. Dr. Kurt was up there doing a meeting, and two women with advanced life-ending cancer are now cured. But then again, I guess you can't say that unless Big Pharma cured it.
Mm-hmm.
So they used fucoidan. It's a natural, what's the term? Antigenesis. It stops the eliminates blood flow to the cancer. Therefore, it causes cell apoptosis. So therefore, you don't have cancer. And I believe that's what that one woman up in Omaha did, because she used it profusely. In my personal experience, I know it's been cleaning out my lungs, because after roughly 40 years of smoking, I know my lungs really need rehabilitating, even though I quit smoking about 7 years ago. And I know that's one of the reasons why I can't really have these marvelous testimonials like my wife, because we did put I gotta bring up Lori, because Lori had just phenomenal results in a very short period of time. One was menopause, and I know some menopauses can be acceptable, but my first wife was not, and it was just horrible misery, and we sought out all kinds of solutions. And when Lori's menopause set in, 3 weeks after we got married, everything just dried up, and that's when we put her on the age pill. So 3 weeks into using the H pill, the menopause totally went away. The vaginal dryness went away. The hot flashes, the cold, hot flashes, hot, cold, they haven't come back. And that's been 15 months ago. Her hearing's better, her vision's better. And she never had a sense of smell. And that was sort of a genetic trait inherited from her father and sister, in which all three of them really didn't have a sense of smell. Now she does. And it's, she's a registered nurse, so sometimes that's not always wanted. But yeah, I love the Sisel products. And I took a couple pictures because I was thinking about this seminar, just how many of these different products I do use today and what I don't use, because when I get rid of Big Pharma or Procter Gamble or, you know, ConAgra, I always replace it with organic and or safe, something that I know safe, you know.
Yeah.
I actually started writing down these big long, you know, words that are 28, you know, letters long, and I started looking them up on the internet, and the carcinogens that they cause are just horrendous. So I love Sisel products. Yes.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. That was a great testimonial. So next, I guess we'll switch. We've got a testimonial. This is a recorded testimonial. So Dr. Kurt was traveling around the US last week and doing some events, and he picked up some great testimonials. So we want to share one. I'm just going to share my screen for a second here. So just bear with me. Share. Okay, so here we go.
So I don't take any supplements because that will interfere with the chemo. I thought he didn't tell me to stop taking orange juice. I'm not gonna listen to it. So anyway, I took it and my CA number was over 4,000, and in 3 weeks, 1,700. Now it's 17, which is a cancer marker for ovarian cancer.
What's the cancer mark? What do they consider the normal?
35.
And she's at 17. Yeah.
And I just met with my doctor, it's going to be 6 years, and she said, I've never had anybody with as much cancer that you had be here. I really don't know what to do with you. I said, I told you I was going to be here. Still drinking Fucoidan, wouldn't give it up. And I think Tom Maurer is a brilliant, brilliant scientist. We have awesome products, and I'll never quit taking them. So.
All right. Thank you.
Kurt, do you want to speak a little bit about that story?
Yes, can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I shut off the video so it doesn't use so much of the man space because I'm driving down the road. You know, when Debbie started taking the Sisel products, they gave her an expiration date. They told her that she had less than a 20% chance of surviving, and that was whether she followed the instructions of the oncologist, using the heavy chemo, using the radiation therapy. I mean, you can just about imagine how devastating that would make you feel if they tell you that you had a 20% chance. She had just weeks before that, she had just lost her mother due to the same type of cancer. She had just lost her daughter in a
You still there? Whoop. Okay, looks like we've lost him for a second. He must have gone out of mobile range. Okay. No worries. All right. Hopefully he'll come back in a second. So I've got another video to play. So he as I said, he was going around the country doing lots of events. And so we've got another great video here. We're still waiting for Mike to jump on. Hopefully he's going to get on and join us. He has just an awesome testimonial to share, really incredible. So just going to play this next video. Here we go.
Share your.
One thing that I want to say first of all is that when I was had to have all of my female products taken out, but before that happened, the doctor said to me, well, you need this test and this test and this test. And I said, no, I'm not going to do those tests. I was 50, I'd turned 50. And I'd read somewhere that every 10 years or 5 years, they all have a list of things you should have, these tests, and I wasn't going to do them. So as I'm walking out of the room after I got dressed and I was going to go home, he says, well, I didn't make any money on you today. That's exactly what he said. And I have not seen him since, and probably never will.
Right.
But so that's that. Then another thing has happened recently. About 2 years ago, I had a hip replaced actually. And the hip, when they looked at, they couldn't believe it. They took my chart and there was nothing on my chart before I had the hip replaced. I didn't take any medications. I didn't do anything like that. I was just taking wonderful supplements and wonderful things that kept me healthy. And they said, and so I had doctors and nurses come to my room and say, what in the heck are you doing? But they didn't care. You know, I told them what I did and what it was, and they didn't, and nobody wanted to do what I did, you know. And they're all, you know, the doctors are there and they're a little large and all that stuff. And so I thought that was really silly. But then I had a brain bleed, which, you know, a brain bleed can lead to all kinds of different things. And when I went to one doctor that I do go to to look at my skin and things like that, and he said that's the worst thing to have because you come out having all these problems. Your legs don't work, your arms don't work, or they're whatever. And I have nothing wrong with me. And if you looked at my chart again, that's all you would see, that they did the surgery and that. But when I was leaving the hospital, they had my paper to go away, you know, to what I should do and all that stuff. And here are all these drugs listed that I should go home with. I didn't go home with any of them. So, yeah. And so then just the other day, Friday, I fell into the door jamb and my head hit a couple of times and I had a little swelling here. So it scared me a little bit and I thought I should go have a CT scan, which costs a lot of money. I shouldn't have made me feel better. Oh, yeah. And as usual, when I finally went home 6 hours later, an empty head again. So, but I have just had such wonderful health with the products that I have taken during these 20 years. Well, actually, it's now 30 years. I started at 50. I started taking care of myself when I was 50. And I tried to not eat, you know, and then when I got in with a company that had wonderful products for, that you take for every day, and I became the food police. And I finally gave up being the food police because I wasn't very nice to be around. Oh, you're eating that. Oh, you're eating that. So I've been very blessed, number one, to have these things happen to me and have nothing residual. And the other thing is that it's just been wonderful. And I'm 84 years old.
Wow.
All right. Thank you. Share your.
One thing that I want to say.
Wow, 84 years old. Let me unmute you, Kurt. Whoop. Sorry. Hang on a second. Do you want to unmute yourself? I can't unmute you. Kurt, do you want to unmute yourself? Okay, for some reason. Okay, I can't unmute Kurt. Anyway, that's okay. We'll continue on. We've got about 7 minutes. Kurt, if you figure out how to, oh, there you are. I'll let him unmute himself. Okay, so we've got 7 minutes left. The last 7 minutes, I really wanted to talk about, have we got, just before we go on to the last topic, have we got Mike on? No, he wasn't able to make it today, obviously. Okay, hopefully we'll get him on next time. Okay, Kurt, can you hear me now?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, great. All right, so for the last few minutes, I just wanted to talk about the age pill and dosage. I wanted to talk about this because I thought it was really important. I spoke to a customer just last week, and, you know, they said to me that they weren't getting that great results with the age pill. And I said, oh, really? And they said, yeah, you know, I didn't really notice much. And I said to her, well, how many age pill have you been taking? And she said 3. And I said, what, 3 morning and night? And she said, no, 3 a day. And I said, yeah, 3 a day is not the therapeutic dose. The dose recommended on the bottle is 6. And some of us have even been taking 12 a day. And obviously, the more you take, you do get a more dramatic result. So we've heard quite a lot of stories over the past testimonial calls with people getting some really amazing results, and they've been taking 12 tablets a day. So Kurt, before I share my testimony, do you want to talk about your friend that, you know, was taking a certain amount and then went up, and what happened?
You bet, Katie. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, great, thank you.
Okay. Sorry about not having good coverage out here. I didn't realize that in the middle of Nebraska they don't have phone coverage. But, you know, maybe it was last month, my friend John had gotten on the call. John Lohman had gotten on the call, and he was sharing that his depression had improved so drastically while taking the products. But he heard the testimonials from other people who were saying that that maybe 12 wasn't enough, and he actually bumped his.
You've cut out.
Level up to 16, and so, no, something's got to do with this storm. Yeah.
You still there? Yeah, we just got sort of most of the story, and then the last bit was he bumped it up to 16.
Yeah, he bumped it up to 16, and 25 years of back and neck pain disappeared within 2 days.
25 years of back pain disappeared in 2 days.
Gone.
Wow.
What an amazing story. And I've got another friend. She, I don't see her on the call, but I know she'll be listening to the recording. And Mary is out in California, Southern California, and she was not seeing the results either. She told me, she says, well, I'm just not seeing the results. And I know she'd been trying natural products for years to get rid of her knee pain. And she just kept dosing up to figure out what she needed. She had to take 18. Now she's 82 years old.
Kurt, do you want to talk about why somebody who's older would need to take more as well?
Well, I think the main reason really comes down to this is that if you've had a lot of things going on in your life, a lot of stress, a lot of injuries, a lot of chemical stress, you've used up your stem cells. And your body needs to rebuild that. And that would be one reason. But the other thing is that as you age, naturally you have less stem cells when you're older than when you're younger. And so that's another reason that you might need to have more age pill to make it work.
Yeah. So so when I first started taking the age pill, you know, I followed Tom Mauer's recommendation, and that was to take 12 a day for 3 months. And within the first month of taking 12 a day, I noticed quite dramatic skin changes, just complexion of skin, just firmer, and this new hair just started sprouting where the hair wasn't as thick as it used to be. And that was the first month. And then, you know, after the 3 months, I went back to the 6, and it was still good. Like, I noticed the energy, and I still felt really good, but I didn't have that. I didn't feel like I was spurting on lots of new cell growth, if you know what I mean. So I was talking to Kurt about it and hearing all these testimonials, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a test of the age pill, and I'm going to go from 6 a day back up to 12 and see what happens. And so I think I've been on 12 for probably like 7 days now. And so I just want to show you what I noticed. Well, I'll show you a picture in a second, but the thing that I did notice when I went from 6 to 12 is that I did feel even more energy. My energy levels went up, I guess, another level, and my sleep was deeper, so more solid sleep, and mood, of course, because energy's up, mood's up even more too. So I did notice those 3 things. But with my hair, I'm just going to share this photo here. With my hair, I actually had some new sprouts coming on, and I just want to show you. So you see I've got this like second fringe happening at the front, these little hairs coming out here. So that's after like 10 days of doing a double dose of the age pill. So I really think there is a big difference between dosage, the effect that you're going to get, and it does make a big difference. So generally, if I hear people saying it's not working, I would question, you know, how much water they're drinking, but also how many tablets are they actually taking, and, you know, how much do they weigh too? Because somebody who weighs, 100, 120 kilos, they're going to need a lot more dosage. You know, I only weigh 53 kilos. I don't know what that is in pounds, I guess 110 or something. But, you know, so you've got to compare, you know, body size as well. So I just wanted to share that with people because it can make a big difference. So have you got any comments to say about that, Kurt?
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say that I don't know if weight has as much to do with it as really the amount of stress that a person's had in their life. You know, if they've had a real stressful, toxic life, they've probably burnt away a lot more stress or stem cells.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So, well, the product, am I correct in saying that Tom has geared all these products for 65 to 85 kilo weight range though, you know, for optimum?
Yeah. Yeah. You really can say that most products, you know, nutritional products, it's based on what they call the RDA, and the RDA is based on a 150-pound man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. So if you're watching this and you've got an ailment in that, you might like to, I can't make any recommendations because that wouldn't be right for me, and we have to follow what's recommended on the pack. So what I would say is you might like to listen to Tom Mauer's recording when he talks about dosage. And I've actually got that recording. I'm going to put that up onto YouTube today. It's a little snippet from a talk he did a while ago. I just think it's a really good one for people to listen to give them some ideas, on how they might get better results. And of course, I just don't think you can go past mentioning, you know, obviously diet, stress, sleep, all that plays a massive part in our health, and probably more so than anything. So, you know, we're not to neglect that. So, so I think that's all. Trev, did you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, I just say, you know, Tom is really a genius when it comes to designing products. I think the big question a lot of people have is they hear us talking about, oh man, you know, the recommended dosage is 6 per day. And all of a sudden they're hearing me say, you know, some people are taking 18 per day and some people are taking 16 and you're taking 12. And they start wondering, you know, about the safety factor. And really when you look at the extracts that are in the product, the safety factor has been tested, and really nothing to worry about. Nothing at all to worry about. With the nicotinamide riboside down at University of Iowa Medical Center, there was a doctor that wanted to find out how much nicotinamide riboside could he actually take before he started noticing adverse effects. And he was taking like 5,000 milligrams a day, and he still wasn't having any kind of side effect. And he said based on that, there's just no way that anybody would take more than what would be than what their body can handle.
Yeah. And I guess it goes by results too. You know, if I've started taking this many and now I'm noticing all these further improvements, then I guess that also speaks for itself.
That's right. And just always remember that when you're taking any of these niacin-based products, what happens is that a lot of it does get destroyed in the stomach. A lot of it does get broken apart by the liver. And so it's so by the time you get it in there, if you have a real effective metabolism, you're gonna tend to need more than somebody who has a low metabolic rate as far as breaking down products too. So that's one other thing.
That's interesting comment. Yeah, your metabolism making a difference. So anyway, okay, great. Well, that's really interesting information. Hopefully you've got some value out of that. And I really hopefully Mark can get on next time because he's just got such a great story. Is there anything else you want to finish up with, Kurt, before we finish up the call? Say anything?
Yeah, well, I still got coverage. I'm just going to thank everybody for being on. Thanks for taking the time to join us today. And Katie, thanks for hosting the call when I had internet trouble out here. I'll hand it over to you.
Cool. All right, great. We're going to do a weight loss and fitness call after this for anyone who wants to jump into that Facebook group. But anyway, we'll see you next week, and we hope you have a great weekend, and we really appreciate you watching. Okay, bye.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye.